Hi folks, Pete here from Ashton's Cars. Today just giving a quick walk around a 2007 Corsa diesel that I've taken in part exchange. Now, this car's not the cleanest example I've ever seen. It's got marks on it, it's got a few bits of paintwork that have been sort of touched in badly by the previous owner using aerosol cans. So it's by no means a car that I would normally retail on the site, but it's a cheap little diesel and we have two options for it. We're either going to keep it and use it ourselves as a sort of run around spare car or a little courtesy car, or we sell it cheap to you guys. So if anyone's interested and anyone needs a cheap diesel, it's quite a serviceable little car. It's got a few months MOT left on it, but it's by no means immaculate. So I'll take you around the car quickly and show you the main sort of areas of damage or concern on the car, and then you can make your own minds up on it. It's not a car that we're going to be putting a massive warranty on or anything like that, but it will get you to work and back, and I've driven it about 30-40 miles. It does drive quite nicely, in fairness, for what it is. So first of all, there's a scrape on this wheel arch and a tiny bit of rust where it meets the bumper, as you can see there. Coming down this side, there are minor little scrapes and bangs, but nothing too concerning until we get to this bumper corner, which is really rough. It's clearly been repainted at some point, and the paint lacquer has had a little bit of a reaction by the looks. So it's a sort of matted colour is probably the best way of describing that. Again, that continues here where it's actually starting to flake, and look, lo and behold, there's actually good paint underneath it. So whoever did the repair has done an awful job and not prepared it properly, and that's why it's gone like that. Still, come around this side, a couple of little smack marks again, a couple of very small dinks in the bonnet, but nothing too major to report. The bad paintwork continues here where, again, it's a little bit matted, but nowhere near as bad as the other side. And on this wheel arch, there's a tiny bit of rust starting to blister there. Again, it's not hugely noticeable at the moment, but it is starting to go. A couple of marks on the wing mirror, and again on the door guard there's a little bit of a mark, something that you touch in quite easily, that is. And when we come around this corner again, the theme continues that someone's had a go with an aerosol can, or certainly a very bad sprayer on a Friday afternoon has had a go at repainting the bumper, and they've done an awful job of it. So what you can see on this car is that most of the bumper corners have had some sort of a paint repair, sorry, a bit of a tongue twister, some sort of paint repair done on them, and it hasn't been done to what I would sort of class as a good standard. Again here, I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but it's a bit rough. It's not something I'd retail because of these cosmetic defects on it more than anything. So that's the bad. On the good point, it's a relatively tidy Corsa. When you look at it from the back here, it's fairly together. It's got the alloy wheels on it, it's the design model. It's just that it's been not very well looked after by whoever had it previously. I think they probably had the best of intentions, but they've, rather than get a professional to repair their car when they've had a little minor mark on it, they've had a go themselves, and that never really pays off in the long run. So the finish is pretty poor. Inside though, let's just open it up a bit. Hopefully you can see it's fairly tidy. The designs have a half leather, or I'm not 100% sure if it's leather or vinyl, but they have a sort of leather and cloth insert interior. I haven't cleaned it inside. The aircon does not work, I can tell you that for a fact because I've tried it. In the back again, I'm not going to pretend it's immaculate because it isn't, but it's, most of the trim is intact. It's fairly comfortable. Most of the things except for the aircon do work in it. In the boot, we have a boot floor which is quite clean and tidy. It's one of these false floors though. Looks like someone's retrimmed it in their own carpet, which is sort of nice, I suppose. And inside here is the original stereo, which must have broke because they've put an aftermarket one in there, or maybe it does work and it's just been taken out. It's probably worth a few quid. Locking wheel nuts are in with it, some oil, which is what the chap had been servicing the car with, and that to the rear is an EGR valve. It's a newer EGR valve that's been purchased by the previous owner but never fitted to the car. That is because every so often the engine management light will come on because the car's EGR valve is bringing up a fault code. However, it doesn't affect the performance of the car and it doesn't affect the way it drives. It's just that you get an annoying light on the dashboard. I asked the previous owner if he'd ever had any sort of loss of performance from it, and he hasn't. And obviously because it sometimes goes off, it's been fine for MOTs, it's been like it for years. He bought the replacement part, and because it wasn't affecting the way the car was driving, he didn't bother fitting it. So it sat in the boot, which is where it will be for the new owner, because we're literally selling this car as it's come into us just to get our money back. Okay, so let's just have a quick look inside again, but I'll start it up this time for you. As I said before, this is a design spec, and they were quite a desirable spec in their day. You've got a nice little bit of glossy black trim on it, a few extras that you don't get on the standard Corsa. In this particular one, the lights that are flashing are not actually flashing. That's just my recording equipment that makes them look like that. But there is a light that is illuminated, and it's the engine management light. And again, if you plug into it, it does throw up a code for the EGR valve. The car has done 115,000 miles. And much as I've got air conditioning, or I've got a button for it, I haven't actually got any cold air coming out of here. It's lukewarm at best. So it might need gas in, it might need a replacement part, who knows? I'm not going to find out, because again, I'm going to be selling the cars it's coming to us to get my money back on it. It has got quite a good stereo system. It's a nice Sony stereo, they're generally quite good, so that's been replaced. The original, as you saw a minute ago, is in the boot. The glove box works. Strangely, it's one of the very few Corsas that I've actually had which has got a working glove box, but this one does all work properly. And I've got a leather stitched wheel, although there is a tiny bit of that leather coming away by there. It's probably seen better days, in all honesty. Overall though, it does drive okay. It's very, very light steering on it, which I can't remember them always being that light, but it's very light and it's not showing up any fault codes. I'll give it a quick rev for you. It revs well, it doesn't smoke, there's no real performance issues on it. I've driven the car at motorway speeds and it pulls well for a little 1.3 diesel. Costs next to nothing to tax as well, so it's a good car in that respect. What I will do is I'll just quickly show you under the bonnet and leave it running a minute. To open the bonnet on these Corsas, we need to come all the way back around this side of it. And the bonnet catch is right here. Let's have a look at this wee beastie of an engine. So there she is, Ecotec. It's got some pretty clean antifreeze in there. The oil and everything's all good on it. It's actually quite a clean, tidy engine bay, in all honesty. No real areas of concern at all on it. Starts first time every time. Mechanically, it feels quite strong, despite the fact I've got that engine light on, but we know what that is, so it's not something that you need to really panic about. The car has got an MOT on it at the moment till mid-August, and I'm really only concerned at the moment we're getting our money back on this. I've got a stack of cars waiting to go in my workshop and I haven't got time to do the EGR valve and paint this car and turn a profit on it, so I'm going to basically let the car go for what it owes me. But in the state that it's in at the moment. If you're just using it for back and forth to work, you just want a car that's serviceable and clean and tidy, this is probably the one for you, because it will do all the things you need it to do, and it's not going to cost you a fortune. Let's just have a quick look at the tyres. I would say that one's got about 4 to 5 mil on it. This one here has again got about 5 mil. About 6 mil on that one. And about 6 mil on that as well. So the tyres are all good. You're not going to need anything tyre wise for your MOT. Brakes on the car stop well, stops in a straight line, handles as it should. There's no real major plunks or rattles on the car that would cause me any concern. As I say, if we don't get our money back on it by selling it this way, we'll probably end up just keeping the car, touching up the worst bits of the marks, and just keeping it as a little courtesy car to run around in and to pick parts up in. But you know, if you're after a cheap diesel, they're few and far between, and this is a 5-door. It's quite a desirable spec car because it's got the cheap road tax, so it might be quite a useful car for someone. It might get them out of a sticky situation if they need a cheap 5-door car, especially if they need a diesel. So give us a call if this is of interest to you on 07932 873 646. This isn't our retail stock, but I am prepared to help you out and deliver the car if you live fairly local to us, or pick you up from local train stations, etc. If this is a car that you're looking for. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I've been probably a bit harsh in my my review of it, my critique, but that's all the better for you. I'd rather you come here knowing exactly what you're buying than being horrified by it. So I don't think you're going to have any real issues with this car. Give us a call if it's of interest. 07932 873 646 is the number. Thanks ever so much for you for viewing, and give us a like, give us a share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Thank you.